Saturday. It is beautiful here. We are going up into the 70s today, and I'm excited about that. I'm getting excited about garden season and all the fun recipes that come with the beautiful weather, the spring, the summer, the sun, all the things. And so I'm going to share with you guys a recipe today that was one of my grandmothers. It was one of their go-to, or one of her go-to recipes when they would have people over during spring and summer. They belonged to several different clubs here in town, and they would have parties, and they would have this delicious tropical pie. It was her tropical pie. I've kind of put my own little twist on it over the years, but it's still going to be absolutely delicious, and you're going to love it. So can't wait to share that with you guys, but we'll wait a couple minutes and let people come and get into the chat. But I'm excited. I was a little disappointed. I went onto YouTube this morning and noticed that YouTube did not post my post in my YouTube post yesterday. When I went in there yesterday to announce the live for today, they didn't post it. So here we are. It may be a surprise to you guys that we are live today, but we are. So I'm excited to have you guys here. I apologize that YouTube did not get that posted yesterday, so you guys would know that we were going live today. But here we are, and we're going to share a delicious recipe with you guys. Something that's going to be perfect for spring, summer, all the beautiful weather. It's super easy and doesn't take a whole lot of time. Like I said, it was one of my grandmother's absolute favorite recipes. So as you come into the chat, say hi, let me know you guys are here. I would love to say hi to you. If you've not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button up there. I would love to have you a part of our family. Leave me some comments. I'm happy to answer questions while we put our recipe together. So if you've got questions for me, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to answer those if I can. So I guess we will get started real quick. I'm going to get my crust in the oven. We're making a basic graham cracker crust first. So it's just, I've melted 1/3 cup of butter in the microwave. We're going to put in about 1/3 cup. I go a little less because I'm not big into the crust being super sweet, especially when you've got lots of other things in the crust or in the pie itself. So I don't like having a crust that's super, super sweet. So we're going to just mix up our butter and our sugar. And then we're going to add in our graham cracker crumbs. I just eyeball these. I don't usually measure. So we're just going to put in about 1.25 cups. We want to have enough crumbs that we can get them put in the bottom of our pie pan. Because we're going to put this in the oven and let that crust bake for just a couple minutes. So you want to get your graham cracker crumbs really, really moist. Hi, Riley. Get your graham cracker crumbs really, really moist with that butter so that it's going to stick. Hey, Cindy, welcome. I'm so glad you made it. I was just saying, I went on yesterday and posted in my YouTube post that we were doing a live today at 1. And I went back in this morning and it never got posted. I don't know what happened to it, but so I was hoping people would see it. So I'm making one of my grandmother's recipes today. This was her tropical pie, super easy, really refreshing. This is a perfect, quick, easy pie for Easter because it doesn't take a lot of time to put it together, but it's got some delicious flavors. You can make this your own. I've made it my own over the years just because, you know, products change, things change, times change, all the things. And so this is super delicious. So I just made up my pie crust, which is just graham crackers, butter, and a little bit of sugar. And as I was saying, I go a little bit light on the sugar when I make the crust. I don't like the crust to be super sweet, especially when you've got lots of things in the actual pie itself. So we're just going to use first I'm going to use my hands to kind of get this pushed up the sides and around the bottom of our pie pan before we pop this in the oven. I'm excited to make the filling because the filling is the best part. Let's face it, the graham cracker crust is just a vehicle for all the things that are on top of it. So I'm going to use my measuring cup. This kind of helps me get the crust nice and packed down so we end up with a really good crust and we're able to cut it. The butter is what's helping the graham crackers to stick together. Just like that. We're going to put this in our 350 oven and bake this for just a few minutes. About 5 or 6 minutes. I don't like to go too long. I am making a tropical pie that was one of my grandmother's recipes. She made this all the time for spring, summer. We had it at Easter. It was one of the regulars on the Easter table, was this tropical pie. Trying to get the crumbs to stick together on the edge here. I normally buy a graham cracker crust instead of making one. I don't like making graham cracker crust. I hate making them. They are such a pain. All right, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna stick this in the oven for about 5 or 6 minutes just to get it nice and toasty. And while that's in the oven doing its thing, we're gonna get started on the first layer that goes in this, which is essentially a cheesecake layer. So we're gonna put in, we're gonna put in 1 brick of cream cheese in our mixing bowl over here. So this is a 2-layer pie, but the only baking is just the crust. And if you don't want to bake a crust, buy a pre-made graham cracker crust. That's perfectly fine. So we're going to put in a little bit of pineapple juice with our cream cheese. That kind of helps get it loosened up a little bit. I'll add some heavy cream in a minute. I do need to get my powdered sugar. I forgot to. So how is everybody doing today? How's everybody's weather? I was saying earlier, we're going to be probably in the high 60s, low 70s today, which is super nice. So I'm going to put in a little bit of, ignore the dog, a little bit of powdered sugar. And I'm going to get this started mixing. This is softened cream cheese, so it helps it kind of mix up a little bit better. Rose, that's my Chewini. That's not too bad. All right, I'm going to add in just a little bit of heavy cream. I also need to get some coconut going in the oven because we want our coconut toasted. So when you're toasting coconut, make sure you keep an eye on it because it will burn really fast. Okay, now what goes into the cream cheese layer is fresh pineapple. You can use canned pineapple if you want to, but I happen to have fresh pineapple, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to dice up some fresh pineapple, probably about a half a pineapple, and we want these in pretty small pieces. You don't want them super big. If I have to, I'll really dice them up, but I want them to be small enough that they're going to get mixed in really well to the cream cheese. This is a tropical pie after all, so it's got to have coconut, it's got to have pineapple. And I'll just use my knife to kind of run through it, just making sure we get it all chopped up nice and small. Depends on how big your pineapple is too, whether or not you're going to need a bunch of pineapple or if like a quarter of it's going to be good enough, half of it. I'm not going to wash this. We're going to whip up some pudding. I know, they're 2 of my favorite flavors. So there's our cream cheese that we put our pineapple juice in and just a touch of heavy cream. I'm going to go and put my pineapple in here so that we can get that mixed together. I'm going to mix it. I want to see how that amount looks. think we can put just a tiny bit more. This is a pretty big pineapple, so we do want to save a little bit of pineapple for a garnish on the top of it. So hubby will be excited there will be a little leftover pineapple when he gets home. Put the rest of this in here. I love this pie. This pie is so refreshing in the summertime. Spring and summer, it is so refreshing. All right, I'm gonna get a bowl because I want to put this in there. I want to mix up that pudding real quick. So this is what our cream cheese, pineapple juice, and fresh pineapple looks like. So I'm going to put this in this bowl so it can just kind of hang out until we're ready to assemble our pie. I figured this weekend was a good weekend to share this recipe because Easter's coming, and so somebody might want to make this for Easter dessert. All right, so I'm using a box of vanilla pudding. We're gonna make this like we would a pie. So you're not gonna put in all of the milk, and I'm gonna show you a twist that I'm doing. This was a twist of my grandmother's when she made this pie. She did coconut milk, but she did the canned coconut milk. What I'm going to use is refrigerated coconut milk. If you want to buy the canned coconut milk, you can. I just prefer using this one, so that's what I'm going to use. So we're going to mix up our pudding with, I'm going to start with 1.5 cups because I don't want this to be too runny. That in there with our pudding. And while that pudding is mixing up, we're going to get started on our other fruit that goes in this, and that is banana. So we're going to dice up some bananas and put that in with our vanilla pudding. If you are allergic to banana, leave it out. If you don't like banana, leave it out. It's totally up to you. I love banana, so I'm going to definitely use it. I want it in fairly small pieces, just like the pineapple, because I want to be able to. It will, yeah, coconut flavor really is prominent in this pie. And then adding this banana just makes it like over the top with your tropical flavors. I'm going to look at my crust really quick. A couple more minutes on that. I'm going to add a splash more milk. You really want to kind of eyeball it. So we've got our banana, we've got our pineapple in this one, our banana's going to go in our vanilla pudding. We've got our coconut. It's got lots and lots of tropical flavors. This pie is so flavorful. You can put Cool Whip on top of it. You can whip fresh cream if you want to. Or I'll show you how my grandmother decorated hers, and it made it super, super tasty. Give my bowl. Make sure when you're doing pudding in a mixer like this that you scrape down your sides, because we get a bunch of our pudding powder up on the sides of it. It doesn't get mixed in all the way, so just make sure you're giving it a good scrape down. Yeah, my husband loves coconut milk. Neither one of us are milk drinkers. We just don't drink milk. I don't even drink this kind of milk, but he does. When he wants a glass of milk, that's what he grabs. All right, I'm gonna look at my coconut. Always have to keep an eye on your coconut when you're toasting it, because it can definitely burn on you if you're not watching it. Okay, our crust is just about done. just another minute or so. Just want to give that coconut a quick little mix. So there's all kinds of ways that you can decorate the top of this pie. You can do all kinds of fresh fruit on top if you want to. You can do cherries if you want to. If you guys follow me, you know that I'm not a huge maraschino fan. I don't like maraschino cherries. So I'm going to garnish mine with some raspberries. I have some fresh raspberries left over. We did a super fun welcome night last night at our church for new people that have started coming to the church over the last 6 months. And I did all the desserts for it. And that was a lot of fun. And so I had some raspberries left over from that. So we're going to put that on our pie because I think that'll be beautiful. My grandmother always did that, either that or cherries. One of the two. She was always, she did whatever she had or whatever she felt like. She'd go to the store, what do I want to put in it this time? That's what she did. So I'm going to pull my crust out. So there's our pie crust. I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit for that coconut so it browns a little bit faster. I'm going to let this pie crust cool just for a minute before I start adding anything to it. It's not going to hurt to put any of this stuff in there while it's still a little bit warm because the pie is going to go in the fridge. Kind of, it seems to be the theme with me when I'm doing these lives. I do recipes, desserts and things that you guys don't get to see us eat until later in the day. So we'll eat it tonight when hubby gets home. You guys will get to see how this pie looks when we cut it. I'm telling you, it's delicious, and it really is a stunning pie. It's absolutely beautiful. Lots and lots of things you can do with it if you want to. I have some fresh strawberries. You know what? I think maybe we will put some strawberries between the layers. Why not? As I said, my grandmother always did whatever she felt like when it came to this particular pie. She kind of did whatever fruit was in season, whatever fruit looked really tasty that day when she was in the store. And so I have these strawberries left from last night. So we will put some strawberries in them. That'll give us a really pretty red punch in the middle of the pie when we cut it. These were beautiful strawberries last night, and I don't want them to go to waste. It is a tropical pie that was my grandmother's recipe. And so we've got a graham cracker crust. We did a cheesecake layer with fresh pineapple diced up in it. We're doing a vanilla pudding that's going to have banana mixed up in it. And then I've just decided to put some strawberries in between the two layers of the pie. And then it's going to get beautifully decorated with some toasted coconut and some whipped cream and some fresh raspberries. Lots and lots of fresh fruit in this. And that's why everybody always loved it when she made this pie. She did the strawberries sometimes, but it wasn't in the original recipe that she had. It was just something that she ended up doing. So if there's any of these fruits that you're not a fan of, by all means just leave them out. It's not like it's gonna ruin the recipe if you don't make it exactly. That's what I love about this pie is, when she would make this, they had people that weren't banana fans. So she would make one of these pies with no bananas, and then she'd make another pie with the bananas so that people that liked it the regular way could have it. So it's not going to hurt it to do whatever you want to it. Just make it with whatever you like in it. I don't know how many strawberries I'm going to need. Probably just a couple. And I'm going to leave them nice and whole. I'm going to just do big slices of strawberry because I want you to be able to see those strawberries in that layer. All right, I'm going to grab my pudding. It's starting to set up a little bit. And I want to get my banana mixed in here. So this was one banana that I chopped up to put in this vanilla pudding. If you want to use banana pudding, you can. If you want to use coconut pudding, you can. It really is whatever you prefer is what I would use. I had a vanilla pudding, that's what I used. All right, so there's our banana mixed into our pudding. So this goes together really, really, really fast, really quick. Now that our pie crust is done, we can start assembling this. Still watching my coconut really careful so we make sure we don't burn it. Keep a pot holder close to me because you can see it's already starting to toast up just in that couple of minutes after I turned up the heat, so you really, really want to keep an eye on it. Give it a stir. All right, now comes the fun part. We're gonna start decorating this, or assembling this pie. Well, I guess it is kind of decorating it. So I got my pie crust. We're gonna start with our cheesecake filling. So our cheesecakes and our cream cheese, pineapple, a little bit of heavy cream, and coconut milk or not coconut milk, pineapple juice. So you put this in the bottom of your pie crust to give us that nice, cheesecake layer in the bottom of this. It already smells tropical in here. All right, so now I have my strawberries. I'm going to put my sliced strawberries on here. And I'm going to go with the points out on these. I mean, how beautiful would this be for Easter, for your Easter table, to slice up this pie and have it on some really pretty plates so everybody can see the layers in this pie. All these fresh flavors, fresh fruit. I may need another strawberry. Okay, I'm gonna grab another strawberry, cut that up. Do any of you have traditional Easter desserts that you guys do? Oh, do one more, one little one. Use my pot holders. I'm gonna grab my coconut. I can smell it. Almost. Just another, probably another 30 seconds, and then that coconut will be done. But you can see what this looks like now. My pan's still just a tiny bit hot. But that's what it looks like with the cheesecake layer on the bottom. Now we're gonna put our banana layer on top. And this gives you our other tropical flavor with our bananas and that coconut milk. That's a great twist to making your pudding, is to make it with coconut milk instead of regular milk. It really adds that extra flavor to it. Be really careful putting this on that we don't let it overflow. Hubby always likes to be here when I make this, because if there's any pudding left over, he will gladly snack on it, especially if I've made it with coconut milk. So this pudding is going to firm up in the fridge when it goes in there. It'll get all nice and set up and looking very pretty. So there is our banana layer that's on there with our pudding. Layered Jello and lemon meringue. Oh, yum. Oh, thank you, Cindy. 4-layer delight with graham cracker crust, vanilla pudding, chocolate pudding. I've heard of that one, Lynn. I've never made it, but I've heard of that one before. All right, let's grab our coconut. That is perfect. Exactly what I wanted. I don't want it to get too toasty or too brown, because I think this right here is perfect. When I toast coconut, I like there to be a little bit of the brown and a little bit of the lighter color, so that you kind of get that three color or three texture in there. That's the way I like my coconut. I'm gonna let that sit for just a second. and cool before we put it on top. So we're gonna cover this with coconut on top, and then it's gonna go in the refrigerator. And before we serve this, like I said, you can cover it with, or you can serve it with Cool Whip if you want to. Two ways you can do this. I'm gonna back up a second. So you can hold off on the coconut, put Cool Whip on it, put coconut on it, and serve it with the fresh fruit like the raspberries and whatever on it. Or you can do what I'm gonna do, which I'm gonna cover this in coconut, and I'm gonna put dollops of whipped cream on top of it with the fresh raspberries tonight when I serve it. A couple different ways you can do it, whatever you prefer is, like I said, that's what I love about this pie, is you can literally do so many things with it. You can change it up. Don't like strawberries, don't put strawberries in it. You don't like bananas, don't put bananas in it. Lots and lots of different things that you can do with this one to make it your own. I've changed it over the years a couple times from the way my grandmother always did it when she made it when I was a kid. But it was always one of her most requested pies for the spring summer season, when they had a lot of barbecues at their house, a lot of people over all the time, and she would make this pie, and everybody always loved it. It was always one that was just a huge hit. So you can do whatever you want to with this one. Like I said, however you want to finish it. You can put it in the refrigerator just like it is now, and then finish it with the coconut and the whipped cream and all the things at the end, or you can put the coconut on. I like the coconut on top of the banana. I'm a flavor person. I like different flavors together. I like the way flavors come together. So I like the way this is layered with the pineapple on the bottom, the strawberries, the bananas, then the coconut, so that all those flavors, when you eat it, it's just the way I guess it hits my tongue. It's just the way I like to taste things when I eat it. I like that really tart of the pineapple, and then I like that, kind of sweet from the strawberries, then that creamy texture from the bananas. It really is just however you want to do it. But it's super, super easy, and it's really, really, really good. This is a delicious pie for any time during spring and summer. So, funny story about this pie. My grandmother, she made this pie, and she made it with the cream cheese layer on the bottom, the pineapple, did the whole thing. But she threw my grandfather off one year when she made this, because she covered it in whipped cream, and then she put she made like an American flag pattern on top of the cake. My grandfather had no idea that he was going to bite into this and it was going to be the tropical pie because of the berries that she put on top. She decorated the whole top of it with fruit, with the blueberries and the strawberries and the raspberries to make the stars and stripes. And he had no idea. And it was so funny to see his face when he took that first bite, like, whoa, this is her tropical pie, but it was decorated completely different. So it was just super cute. All right, so I'm going to put my coconut on while my pie is still a little bit tacky, because I want that coconut to stick to this pudding. If your pudding is too set up, then your coconut's not gonna stick to it as well. So you want to make sure that you get it on here. If you're gonna put it on this time, if you're gonna put it on now before anything else, then I would get it put on to pudding before it totally sets up. But I just love the way it looks with the coconut on top of the yellow from the banana pudding. And then you just put those dollops of whipped cream all over the top of it and garnish it with your fresh raspberries, fresh strawberries. If you're not wanting to do more berries on it, you could garnish it with a little bit of fresh pineapple, which I still might do because I have some left over. There's just all kinds of things that you can do with this to make it look absolutely perfect. And it is going to be a big hit, I guarantee you, at any one of your parties, whatever party you're doing this for, Easter, a summer party, barbecue. The way we do this a lot of times is it's really good when it's really, really, really cold. So you want to make this either the day before or the morning of, so that it has a really good long time to sit in the refrigerator and get nice and cold and really set up. And when it is super hot outside, there is nothing like biting into a piece of this pie with that really cold layer of all the fruit, and it's delicious. It is so good. This is one of those recipes that I've told you guys before that bring back memories for me. I can just see my grandmother in the kitchen right now making this pie, because it was one of her absolute favorites this time of year. It was always on our Easter dessert table. I love the coconut on here. I might save just a tiny bit of this coconut to put on my whipped cream when I put it on here, but so this is what it looks like. My pan's fine. So this is what it looks like before we put the whipped cream and stuff on it, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful when you cut into it and you see all of the layers. You know, you've got your crunchy graham cracker crust down there, you've got your cheesecake layer, your strawberries, your banana layer on the top of that, your coconut. There's just so much going on in this pie, so many flavors, that it's absolutely delicious. It is so good. Hubby's going to be excited when he gets home tonight because he's going to have this for dessert tonight, and he's going to be super happy. I love making it. I love getting to share these recipes from my childhood, recipes from my grandmother. She was my biggest influence in the kitchen. She was the one that got me in the kitchen when I was super little. I was 2 years old. The very first time that I cooked in the kitchen with my grandmother, I was standing on a step stool on the counter, and I was making a grilled cheese sandwich in her electric skillet. And that was when I first developed my love for cooking. And after that, I was always in Grammy's kitchen helping her cook. Whatever she was making, I was in there with her helping her do it. And she inspired me. And so I love getting to share these recipes with you guys. This is going to be going in the cookbook. I'm still working on the cookbook. They take a lot of work, friends. Did you know that writing a cookbook takes a lot of work, especially when you're trying to do a YouTube channel on top of that and editing videos and trying to do all the other life things that happens. It's a lot of work. So it is coming. I am working on it. It's just taking a little bit of time, but this will definitely be in the cookbook that comes out hopefully soon. Yeah, my grandma was very important to me. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna find a picture. I'll see if I can post some pictures in my post section on my YouTube. I have a couple of pictures of her and I when I was little, and then there's a picture of my grandmother when she was 18, and I remember seeing that in a box, and I asked my grandmother. I said, or no, somebody else saw the picture, and they said, "Is this?" Everybody called me Sherry when I was a kid. When I was growing up, when I was little, my nickname was Sherry. And so they asked my grandmother, they said, "Is this Sherry from one of those old time photo booths?" And my grandmother laughed and she said, "No, that's me when I was 18. And I think I was about 16 or 17 at that point. And it's amazing how much my grandmother and I looked alike when I imagine we probably still would. We lost her in 98, I believe it was. And so she lived a long, good life. And so yeah, I have a lot of good memories of her. She was incredible. Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn. You know, I have one son. He'll be 31, 32 this year, 33 this year. Good Lord. He'll be 33 this year. So that is another story I'll share with you guys another time. But just briefly, I gave him up for adoption when he was born. And so I did not raise him. He lived with an incredible family in New York City, had an amazing life. And he's doing very well there. We reconnected in 2017, and I talk to him occasionally. And so he's just living a good life there, and he's a great dad. And so I know I made the right decision. But I have a lot of kids in my life that are not mine biologically that I cook with. And so I get to cook with these kids and share my grandmother's, recipes with them and cooking with them, and I love getting to do that. So I may not have any kids of my own here in my home, but I have a lot of kids in my life that I get to cook with, and that makes me happy. So I love that. It was hard. It was, like I said, that's a story that I will share with you guys another time. It's a long story, but yeah, it was something that was really hard, and it's something that I knew I had to do. It was the right thing to do for him, and he's had a great life. So yes, Lynn, get in the kitchen with your grandkids, make those memories. I was raised in a house that messes were something that got you in trouble, and in my grandmother's kitchen, she didn't care. It's gonna clean up. My dad would freak out, and she'd tell him, "You know what, go outside, just go outside and leave me alone, because it's a mess. It's gonna clean up, it'll wipe up. If it's a spill, don't make them feel self-conscious about it. Don't make them feel bad about it, because it's just, it's going to wipe up. It's not a big deal. So those are memories that you will cherish the rest of your life. Like I said, after I lost my grandmother in 98, that was something I was so blessed that I had her living. Thank you. That was something that I cherished after we lost her, after she was gone. I cherished those memories. And I was saying once before in a video a long time ago that I was making something and it almost made me emotional cooking that recipe, because it was something that my grandmother and I used to cook together. And so a lot of things when I cook those things, I have that memory of being right there in the kitchen with her and getting to cook right alongside her. And so it's just, it is very messy, but it's so much fun. It is so much fun. You just can't, you can't replace those memories. You really can't. And though, you know, your grandkids, great grandkids, whatever, your kids, they're going to remember those things forever. They're always, even if they don't ever end up loving to cook, they're still going to remember those memories from when they were a kid. And those things are going to come back in their memory. Something's going to trigger it. And they're going to remember that time that you were making cookies together, or you were making, you know, whatever it is together. It's just, it's so important to do that. And I never realized how important it was until, as you guys know, I worked at a sorority house for 12 years. I was head chef there, and I cannot tell you the countless girls that came in my kitchen that had no idea how to do anything in the kitchen. They didn't know how to grocery shop. They didn't know how to do anything. So I started teaching cooking classes at the sorority house on the weekends. I would take my own time, I didn't get paid for it. I would go in on Saturdays and spend a couple of hours with any of the girls that wanted to join me in the kitchen, and I would teach them, you know, basic cooking lessons, just basic things to get them through when they moved out of the sorority house and had to cook for themselves. And a lot of times they would call me, they'd be at the grocery store and they would call me and want to know, hey, how do I make this? Or what do I need to have to make this? Or, you know, all these, they're just all kinds of things. And I loved that part of it, that I got to be kind of their college mom. It was a lot of fun. I was definitely college mom to a lot of sorority girls and a lot of houseboys. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it. So if you just came in, this is what we made. We made a tropical, this is my grandmother's tropical pie. It has a pineapple cheesecake layer on the bottom, fresh sliced strawberries in between, and then a banana layer up on top. And it's going to be delicious. You guys will see a short tonight. Hubby and I will do a taste test on this pie, and I'll post a short later tonight. You guys will get to see what it looks like after we cut it. Has some beautiful layers in it. Once it's really chilled, when you cut it, has just beautiful layers of all the flavors and everything. It's so, so good. This was one of her most requested pie recipes. So I still am in contact with a lot of them. And you know, it's funny, I have a houseboy. Sam watches my videos once in a while. Hi, Sam, if you're watching. He was one of my houseboys. I had him in the sorority house for 4 years. He started in November of his freshman year, so he was there basically his entire college career. And I taught him to make bread. He's a fantastic musician. His band's called The Max. They're out of Portland. And I used to joke with him and tell him that he was going to be famous, and that if he ever did an interview with Rolling Stones, that he needs to do it making bread in the kitchen, doing his interview, and I better get a shout out. And so he always said he would give me a shout out on his Rolling Stone interview. He made fantastic bread. I love teaching the boys to make bread. I had several of them that did. Oh, I love that, Cindy. That is awesome. I have my grandmother's, we called it, it's so funny, I have her ice cream crystal. They're not crystal. They're just those fun little, you guys can't see them, but they're just fun little ice cream dishes. So like the little glass sundae dishes, or the glass banana split boat bowls, those things, we always call them ice cream crystal. And so Grandma would always say, you know, we get ready to make sundaes or banana splits or milkshakes or whatever, and she'd always tell Granddaddy to go get the go get the ice cream crystal out of the cupboard. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just love to cook. I'm passionate about cooking. It just makes me happy. And so getting to share my love of cooking with people makes me happy. So I appreciate that comment. One of these days we'll do something with the ice cream crystal and you guys will get to see it. And I'll make sure I'll let you know that that's the ice cream crystal. What you doing? Okay. This is our little old man. This is Pablo. He's 16 years old. He's pretty much blind in one eye and almost pretty much blind almost in the second one too. So he's just a sweet boy. We have four little dogs. We have 4 little ones, and we love them. He's kind of a brat though. He's kind of temperamental. In his old age, he's gotten really cranky. What? All right, well, I think I'm gonna go get this pie in the fridge. Oh, nice. I'm gonna go get this pie in the fridge. I'm gonna get my kitchen cleaned up again for the 3rd time today. Seems to be the thing that happens when you cook. Get my kitchen cleaned up, get dinner planned and ready to go. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, so I need to get that figured out before hubby gets home. And as I said, we will do a short tonight, let you guys see what this pie looks like when we cut into it. You can see all the layers and how beautiful this is. I'll let hubby give you guys a review on what he thinks of it. And guys, have a great day. Thanks for joining me on my live. If you haven't yet, please share my channel with your friends and family. I am trying really hard to grow my channel a little bit more. And so I would love for you guys to share my channel with your friends and family. And we'll see you guys on the next live next Saturday. Have a great day, friends. Bye.